Good morning, students. Hope all are doing good. I am Vanshika Taneja. I am your social science teacher. Today we will do chapter number 14, Latitude and Longitudes. New terms: equator, imaginary line around the sun or other body. Longitude, the angular distance of a place or west of the equator. Latitude, the angular distance of a place north to south of the equator. Grid, a framework of lines intersecting the right angles. Local time, the time of the particular place fixed with respect with the positions of the sun. Standard time, the local time of the standard meridian of a country. Now look at the paragraph. The shape of the earth is not entirely round. It is slightly bulging the equators and flattened at the poles. There is a difference about 44 kilometers between the polar diameter and the equatorial diameter of the earth. But for all the practical purposes, we assume that the shape of the earth is like a sphere, like a ball. Because of the immense size of the earth, is very difficult to make a proper study. Because of the immense size of the earth, it is very difficult to make a proper study of it. With a view to overcome this problem, we use a globe. A globe is a three-dimensional model of the earth. Three-dimensional होते हैं globe of the earth के. It is like a map that has been printed or posted on a hollow sphere. Since the shape of the earth is almost spherical, it is very difficult to locate a place on it, like a flat surface. Therefore, in order to overcome this problem, we need to evolve or find certain points or lines which can be used as reference for the purpose of locating different places on the earth. As well, we know the earth rotates on an imaginary axis. The end points of the imaginary axis are called the पोल्स. ठीक है, जो एंड पॉइंट्स होते हैं इमेजिनरी के एक्सिस के पास उसको पोल्स बोलते हैं, आर कॉल्ड द पोल्स. The one pointing towards the north south is called the north pole and the other one is called the south pole. Taking these poles as two fixed points, if we draw an imaginary line midway between the north pole and south pole, it would divide the earth into two equal halves. We call this line as equator. Okay, you can see a picture of globe also in your book. It divides the earth into two hemispheres. The part that lies toward the north of equator is called the northern hemisphere and the part that lies toward south of the equator that is called the southern hemisphere. जो north में उसको northern hemisphere बोलते हैं और जो south में that is called the southern hemisphere, right? So thus we know have the following reference for describing the location of the place on the surface of the earth. They are the North Pole, the South Pole and the equator. Now we will talk about the parallels and meridians. The globe is a true representation of the earth. It has two sets of circles. In one set, circle run from west to east are parallel to equator and these are called the parallels. ठीक है, जो west से east run करता है parallel to equator तक, these are called the parallels. In the second set, दूसरे set में अगर देखा जाए, the circle run from north to south, pass through the north pole and the south pole. Half of the circle between the north pole and south pole is called the meridian. The parallels and the meridians intersect each other at right angles 90 degrees. The parallels and the meridians can be used to define the location of any place on the globe or on the map. The network of parallels and meridians on the globe is called the Earth grid or the geographic grid. Parallel or latitudes. If we carefully examine a globe, we can see a framework of crisscrossing the lines running around it some regular order. You can see in your book also, side by side. These lines are called the grid. The horizontal color lines running parallel from the equator up from the poles are called parallels or lines of latitude. यहाँ तो हम उसको parallel बोल सकते हैं, यहाँ तो we can say that they are the lines of latitudes. So latitudes are measured in degrees. So latitudes of the equator is 0 degree. जो उनका equator होता है that is 0 degree. The distance from the equator to either of the pole equals to 1/4 of a circle around the earth, which comes out to be 360 degree 4 equals to 90 degree. Therefore, the North Pole is located at the 90 degree north latitude, 90 degree N, while the South Pole is located at the 90 degree south latitude, should be 90 degree S. The parallels are located at north of the equator are called north latitude. जो north of the equator पे that is called the north latitude, और जो south पर है south of the equator है that is called the south latitude. Any doubt? Since the parallel are drawn at the interval of 1 degree, there are 90 parallels in each of the northern and southern hemisphere. कम से कम 90 parallels है southern में भी और northern में भी. Thus, there are 181 parallel on the earth including the equator. While writing the latitude of a place, we always write the letter N or S along with the angular. While writing the latitude of a place, we always write the letter N or S along with the angular distance of the place from the equator. Thus, if the latitude of a place is 30 degree in the northern hemisphere, we write 30 degree N. मतलब हम पूरा नहीं लिखेंगे उसको, 30 degree N लिखेंगे. And for a place of equal latitude in the southern hemisphere, we write 30 degree S. Understand? Next, the latitude of the places lying near the equator have low latitudes, while the places lying the poles have high latitudes. The parallel or the lines of latitudes have the following characteristics. So these are the 4 points, right? So all parallel except 90 degree N or 90 degree S are circles. 90 degree N, 90 degree S are points. Second, the parallels are at equal distance from one another. एक दूसरे से equal distance में होता है. ऐसा नहीं होता कि वो दूर है तो वो और भी ज्यादा आ गया. No, दोनों थोड़ा थोड़ा दूर होता है. Equal distance पे. The distance between two parallels on the surface of the earth is about 111 kilometers. The equator from the largest parallel, the length decreases as we move towards the pole. Length decrease हो जाती है जब हम move करने लग जाते हैं towards the pole. Last point is the equator is the only great circle on the surface of the earth. All the other circles are small circles. Important parallels. In addition to the equator 0 degree, the North Pole 90 degree N, the South Pole 90 degree S. There are 4 other important parallels of latitudes. They are Tropic of Cancer 23 1/2 on in the northern hemisphere. ठीक है. Tropic of Capricorn कितना था 23 1/2 in the southern hemisphere. Arctic Circle कितना था 66 1/2 north of the equator. Antarctic Circle कितना था 66 1/2 south of the equator. Great circle and small circle. So tell me what do you understand by great circle and small circle? So great circle is that the line where the plane intersects the surface of the sphere is called the great circle. जहां से plane intersect करता है उस sphere में, that is called the great circle. ठीक है. और small circle क्या होता है? Similarly, if it intersects the sphere at a place other then its center, मतलब अधर से उसने प्लेस किया और सेंटर में then its place, it's called the small circle, right? You can see the diagram also, great circle and small circle in your right hand page. Heat zones of the earth. Next है heat zones of the earth. Based on the angle of incidence of the sun or the angle which the sun shines overhead, the earth has been divided into following 3 heat zones. ठीक है. अर्थ को 3 parts में divide किया गया है. ठीक है. First is tropic zone or the torrid zone. First, what is that? Tropic zone and the torrid zone. The word torrid means hot. Torrid means hot. It is the hottest zone of the earth. ठीक है, सबसे गर्म. It lies between the tropic cancer tropic. It is lies between the tropic of Cancer and the tropic of Capricorn. दो के बीच में lie करता है. In this zone, the sun is always overhead at one place, other throughout the year. As a result, this zone receive direct sunshine all the year and remain hot throughout the year. मतलब direct sunshine मिल जाती है उसको. The Tropic of Cancer passes midway through India and the southern parts of India lies in this zone. Therefore, this part of the country is hot the year round. Second is the temperature zone. It is in an area of moderate heat. The zone lies between the Tropic of Cancer and Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere. It is called the northern temperate zone. While the area between the Tropic of Capricorn and Antarctic Circle lies in the southern hemisphere and it is called the south temperate zone. These two areas receive slanting rays on the sun, so it less hot. ठीक है, slanting rays आती है सन की, तो इसलिए वहां गर्मी थोड़ी कम होती. Therefore, this zone is described as temperate or moderately hot zone. Third is the frigid zone. These two zones lie beyond the Arctic and Antarctic Circle. ठीक है, ये zones कहाँ होते हैं? They can lie between the Arctic and Antarctic Circle. So in these two zones, the sun never rays above the horizon since these areas receive extreme slanting rays of the sun. They are very cold throughout the year. पूरा साल तो वो ठंडे रहते, मतलब कोल्ड रहता है. Therefore, the areas remain frozen for most part of the year. और कुछ टाइम तो frozen रहता है. Therefore, these areas are known as frigid zone. तभी उसको frigid zone बोला जाता है. Now, meridians or longitudes. So you can see the diagram, heat zones of the earth, right? Beside the parallel of latitude, there is another set of imaginary lines on the surface of Earth running vertically from the North Pole to the South Pole. These imaginary lines are known as the lines of longitude or the meridians of longitudes. In 1884, it was decided at a meeting of a countries of the world that Greenwich, a place which a few kilometers east of London in UK, will be considered as a starting point, and the meridian that passes through Greenwich will be taken as a prime meridian. So the distance of a place either east or west of the prime meridian is measured as an angle which is also the longitude of that place. The longitude of Greenwich is 0 and it is known as the Greenwich meridian. The longitude of a place is measured in degrees and it is written 90 degree E or 90 degree W. मतलब पूरा नहीं लिखते हम उसको, शॉर्ट में ही लिखते E, W, N, S, like that. The total number of the meridians on the globe are 360, that 180 on either side of the prime meridian. The meridian of the line of longitude have the following characteristics. Sorry, there are 4 points. All the meridians are of equal length. Any two meridians and opposite sides together. The distance between two meridians is greatest at the equator, which is about 111 kilometer. Distance between any two meridians decreases as we move towards the pole. It is 0 at the poles. Longitude and local time. There is a relationship between the longitude of a place and its time. Local time of a place can be reckoned by the shadow cast by the sun. That place. The shadow is shortest at noon while it is longest at sunrise and sunset. जो shadow होती है वो छोटी हो जाती है noon में while it is longest at sunrise and sunset. As we know that the earth rotates on its own axis in 24 hours. It means the earth rotates 360 degrees since there are 360-degree longitudes in 24 hours, which comes out to be 1 degree in every 4 minutes. As the earth rotates from west to east, from places in the east of Greenwich will be ahead of Greenwich time, and those are in the west will be behind it. Therefore, when it is comes to 12 noon at Greenwich, Kolkata, a place located at 90-degree E longitude will show 12 plus 90 into 4 equals to 360 minutes equals to 6 hour equals to 6 p.m. In the same way, Costa Rica, which is 90-degree W of Greenwich, will show 6 a.m. So why do we need standard time? हमें standard time क्यों चाहिए होता है? As we have already learned, the local time of different places situated at different meridians are different. As such, it will be difficult to prepare a timetable for trains and airline, etc. as they have to cross several meridians. It is therefore necessary to follow the local time of some central meridian in it. It is therefore necessary to follow the local time of some central meridian of a country as a standard time of the country. In our country, the longitude of 82 1 by 2, which passes through Allahabad, is treated as a standard meridian for the whole country and is known for the Indian Standard Time, IST. That is the short form, IST. Now, last topic is time zone. In the International Prime Meridian Conference held in 1884, the world has been divided into 24 time zones of 1 hour each. So, each time zone covers 15 degree of longitudes. ठीक है, इतने 15 degree longitudes cover करता है. In large countries where the longitudinal extent is large, the land surface is divided into टाइम जोन, उसको डिवाइड कर देते हैं टाइम जोन्स के साथ. Such countries do not have a single standard time for the whole country. That is why countries like USA, Canada and Russia have several time zones. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me questions, right? So we will meet in the next class. Thank you everyone.